coaches. We're here to give some basic information on corporate structure in the UAE, what is the benefits of setting a business in the UAE, what could be the approximate cost from to, where we have prepared a couple of options which are for a freelance and for a simple company setup only with one shareholder. For the activity, you'll find a lot of details, because if you're gonna go upgrade not only coaching, but you continue with training and so on, there are some particular requirements which may pop up and you need to be aware about. And some useful links with information about how to do business in UAE, what could be the requirements in different zones. We have put the link also for our e-accounting book, which is very useful for the first year in business, where you don't have really much funds to spend on hiring or even outsourcing, full of templates of do it yourself. And I'll hand over the speech to Mrs. Svetlana Kursheva, which is our corporate service manager with over 6 years experience. She's really good in setting up companies, and I think she has set herself more than 500 by herself companies in the UAE. So just please bear with us, have a look on the presentation. There's 17 slides over there. Once we're over with the presentation, please shoot up any questions you may come up with: cost, location, corporate structure, taxes, offices, anything which may pop up in your mind to ask. Please note it down aside or put it in the chat box, and me and Svetlana were ready to answer all of your questions after the presentation. Good luck.
Kamelia, just something to add here. It's beyond setting up in UAE. It's beyond that. So those who are not from UAE, there's some value about business setting up businesses. So just want to add that for all of you. Yeah.
Now, after you see the presentation, you understand that there are benefits which UAE offers to the rest of the world, which are not comparable with any other jurisdiction. So please have a look. Enjoy.
So shall we start or wait for others to join?
I think we're very much ahead with the time, so probably need to go ahead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, one more time. My name is Svetlana Kursheva, as Ms. Kamelia introduced me. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to Dr. Haris Said. I'm very happy for this opportunity to be here, even I'm not one of your I was not involved in your session for the coaching program, but I'm happy to share whatever experience and knowledge I have about setting up business or getting freelancer permits for coaches here in the UAE. We will start with the presentation, and please note down any questions within the presentation which you might have. In the end, we'll answer all the questions. Let me please start with sharing my screen so all of you can see the presentation. Okay. Everyone can see the presentation now? Yes? Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So, just a minute. Okay, sorry. So, first of all, a very short introduction I would like to give about the company which I'm representing. Our company name is My Business Consulting, DMCC. We are in the UAE market for 10 years already, actually more than 10 years in the UAE market in the field of corporate services and management consulting. Our major expertise and focus in setting up businesses in the UAE, assisting with corporate banking, with corporate finance, with tax advising, along with immigration support, which includes obtaining residence visas for yourself, employees, or your family members. Also, we do provide for businesses which already exist here or for new setups, bookkeeping, accounting support, Basically anything to start your business and further to operate your business in compliance with all the local regulations and laws. As you can see in the screen, also some short information that we were awarded more than 19 times, and authorities which provide us awards were the local authorities and also some international authorities as well. Some of our major principles of our company is transparency and privacy and confidentiality for our clients. These are, I think, those principles which also help us to stay in the market for 10 years and more already. So we will move with the presentation further. I will skip the introduction about myself because Kamelia already did it, I think. My contact details you can find also in the end of the presentation. So if any questions which we will not have time to discuss, you can still be in touch with me. Okay, so this is the question which Dr. Harris in the beginning just mentioned, especially those of you who might be not aware yet about the UAE and doing business here, and in general about the UAE as a jurisdiction. You might be thinking, out of all the options available all over the world, why should I choose the UAE to do my business? There are actually many reasons and benefits that UAE as a jurisdiction can offer the entrepreneurs and investors from different countries all over the world. You can see now on the screen some of them only. So one of them is that we have lowest taxation in the world, which you probably heard, and it's the most popular one. There is zero corporate and income, zero corporate and personal income tax. For corporate taxes, the tax available at the moment is only the value-added tax, which is still one of the lowest in the world, and it's 5% only. So tax optimization can be one of the reasons why to look at the UAE as a jurisdiction. Beside that, also it's very easy process to start your business, to register your business. So the procedures of doing business are simplified as much as possible. Also obtaining residence visa in comparison with so many countries where, for example, to get residency, you have to live in that country for certain months or in a year. Then in the UAE is quite simple. There is no requirement to stay here to become a resident. The only requirement that you will need to come every 6 months, one time, you will need to enter the UAE. So this is also one of the benefits. Is beside that safety of the economy and of the country itself, that safety of banking in this country is one of the biggest benefits. In the UAE as well, you can get one of the best infrastructures in the world, which definitely will benefit and complement your business here. Probably you heard also about free zones in the UAE. Today is more than 50, almost up to 60 different free zones in all the Emirates. And free zones are very popular and one of the biggest benefits because it allows 100% ownership for foreign investors and entrepreneurs. So we will move now to 2 types of registration, which I specifically chose for you as coaches, which I find most suitable for you to practice coaching business here in the UAE. So one of them is the free zone company, type of company called free zone. So you can see now on the screen some of the main characteristics of the free zone. So there is zero personal income tax as well as there is zero corporate tax. Free zone company will allow you to get a residence visa for yourself as a shareholder as well as for the employees if you are going to hire employees in the company. And the residence visa in the Emirate of Dubai is valid for 3 years for employees and for the shareholders, while in other northern Emirates for the investors it will be 3 years and for the employees it will be 2 years. As I mentioned earlier, also 100% foreign ownership is allowed in the free zone. This is one of the most popular characteristics of this type of company. Such type of company allows you to have an office inside the free zone of registration, and that is required. And it allows you to practice your business activity inside the UAE and outside the UAE. without limitation to inside the free zone only, which is very common misconception. And also, last but not the least, the free zone company allows you to open corporate bank account in one of the local banks and to carry business transactions through a bank account. So these are short but main characteristics of free zone. The second type of registration, which we will talk specifically for coaches, it's a freelancer permit. Here, the first thing I would like to say, to make it clear that the freelancer is not a legal entity. So it's not a company. It's yourself as individual, as a coach. You will get a permit for certain activity. In this case, we are talking about coaching activity that you can carry as commercial activity in the UAE. You can sign contracts with your clients, you can get payments, etc. Here in the UAE, without having any type of license or permit, an individual cannot carry any commercial business activity. So this is individual, not a legal entity, number one. Number two, same as a free zone company, you are allowed to get a UAE residence visa as a freelancer. But the difference here that you will be able to get a residence visa only for yourself, plus you can sponsor your direct family members. It can be a spouse, it can be your kids, or it can be your parents. But you cannot hire employees. Unlike in the free zone company, you can also hire employees. What about the office? Can you rent an office if you are not a legal entity as a freelancer? You cannot rent a permanent commercial space as a company. However, what freelancers are doing, they are renting co-working spaces and business center facilities where you can have meetings with your friends, with your clients, and you can have a quiet atmosphere to work by yourself if it's required out of home environment, where you will find usually Wi-Fi connection in all facilities like in business centers. Same as a free zone company, you can do business inside UAE. Here, coming to the bank account, the next feature for freelancer, there is a difference with companies that since you are not registered as a legal entity, you cannot open a corporate bank account, but you are allowed to operate with your personal bank account, which will be very easy to open here in the UAE also once we get your residence visa. Being not resident also still will be possible, but with some additional requirements. Lastly, for those who are already staying in the UAE and being residents, it might be interesting fact that it is allowed by the law actually to be employed in a company and at the same time to work as a freelancer. The only condition here that there must be no objection letter from your current employer. So you have to notify basically that you are going to carry activity out of your working hours as a freelancer, and your employer should sign this letter. This is only condition. So these are the main characteristics of a freelancer for your understanding what's the difference between a company and a freelancer. So we will go to the next slide. We will start here with the specific recommendations and options already, and we will start with the freelancers. One of the most recommended option for the coaching, and probably you can see in the right screen, specific activity for coaching which is available. It is executive coaching and management coach. This is a freelancer permit which we can register for you in Dubai South Free Zone. It's one of the free zones located in the Emirate of Dubai. From the left side of the screen, you can see the budget, what you have to consider for registration of this freelancer permit. So we are talking about around 9,800 dirham. Those who are more convenient with dollar, you can see also in brackets the cost in dollars, so it's around $2,600. What this price includes, it will include the freelancer permit itself, and also it will include the establishment card. This is a card from the immigration of Dubai, which further will allow you to apply for your residence visa. Both freelancer permit and this establishment card have to be renewed on annual basis. From the right side, you can see additional cost you have to consider if you would like to get a residence visa. So the residence visa cost will be around 5,000 dirham, or in dollar it's 1,300 approximately. Here, the important thing to consider that the residence visa is valid for 3 years, unlike the permit itself is for 1 year only. So we are talking about renewal of visa every 3 years and the freelancer permit and establishment card every 1 year. And the costs for renewal are the same. If you already decided, yes, I want to get a freelancer permit, so the next thing you should look at is what kind of documents you need to prepare to get this registration done. The package of documents actually is quite easy for freelancers. So we will need your passport copy. The main requirement is that it should be valid for at least minimum of another 6 months. Beside your passport copy, we will require your latest updated CV or resume. And the most important, we will need here your credentials and certificates, where in this case, your coaching program and your international certificate for coaches will be very useful, because it's one of the requirements to obtain the freelancer permit. The last two requirements, which you can see from the right side of the screen, visa copy and sponsors NOC, these are requirements which are applicable only for those of you who already stay in the UAE and you already have a residence visa. So in this case, we will need just a copy of your current visa, and we will need no objection certificate and no objection letter from your current sponsor. It may be your current employer, your company, or can be also your spouse. If you're on the visa of your spouse, doesn't matter. So as you can see, the documents are quite simple. The time that will be required for the registration and obtaining the freelancer permit is around 7 to 10 working days only. And the next step already after getting the freelancer permit will be the establishment card itself and the residence visa. For residence visa, those of you who are not here in the UAE, you should consider that your presence in Dubai for the whole process of getting visa done will be needed for around 7 to 10 working days. While for getting freelancer permit itself, it's only 1 day. And nowadays, due to the current situation in the world, it can be done even without physical presence, the registration itself. Now we will go to the next option for freelancers, which is also a free zone, but located in another emirate. It's one of the northern emirates, Ras Al Khaimah. The free zone name itself is Ras Al Khaimah Economic Zone, or RAKIZ for short. Here they do offer for coaches the activity personal development coach. You can see in the right side of the screen. And they offer 2 packages for such activity and for freelancers in general. So either you can go for the package of 1 year freelancer permit, or for the package 2-year freelancer permit. So you can see the difference in course. For 1 year, you will need the budget around $12,435, or it's around $3,300. And it already includes the visa fee, the freelancer fee, and all the relevant fees for registration of freelancer and obtaining visa. The second package includes all the same, but for 2 years. So the cost here is different. It's $18,235, or around almost $5,000. And validity here is for 2 years, for visa and for the freelancer package. For documents, what you will need to prepare here, it's very similar. It's exactly the same as in previous free zone, Dubai South. So it's only your passport copy, your certificates, or if you have portfolio or university degree, or certificates like what you get now from the coaching program, which will support your chosen business activity as a freelancer. And again, if you already have a residency visa, then the visa copy and NOC from your current sponsor will be required as well. By the time of registration, the time frame also is very similar to previous option. We are talking about 7 to 10 working days for the freelancer permit. Now we will move to, okay, so next option, we will move already to legal entity, to company registration. The first option, what I would like to suggest you is Dubai Knowledge Park. This one of the free zones, which is actually specialized in businesses which are related to educational segment. And those activities do include also mentoring, coaching, training. It's also covered by this segment. So this free zone is specialized in such activities. You can see from the left side the name of the activity which will be applicable for coaching. It's called management training. And you can see the scope of that activity from the right side, which also includes coaching and mentoring. Here, their cost involved is much higher than the freelancer permit, but again, we are talking about legal entity, about company registration, but not only you as an individual getting a permit. So if you look in the left side of the screen, you can see that registration and licensing will cost you around 20,540 dirham, or it's around $5,500. While from the second year of renewal, these fees will be less already, and it will be around 15,020 dirham, or around $4,000 only. From second year and onwards, annual renewal will cost this fee. What other fees you have to add to this and to consider is renting office. Unlike for freelancers and specifically for business activities related to coaching, in any free zone, it's mandatory requirement, in most of the free zone, not in any, there are a few exceptions, but in this free zone, it's mandatory requirement to have a physical office. So it's one of the requirements to get the license and to register the company. So in this free zone, the minimum space of office they are offering is 500 square feet, which is around 50 square meter. And you can see the cost in the screen for such office is 87,500 dirham per year, or it's around $23,800. If you will require to get residence visa for yourself as a shareholder or for your employees, to those costs you have to add also the visa cost, which is around 5,000 per person, and there is also 2,500 guaranteed deposit applicable. This deposit is refundable, and it will be refunded on the time you will cancel your visa or you will decide to close the company by any reasons. The visa validity here will be for 3 years, while your license and your rental agreement will be valid for 1 year. So every year you have to renew license and the lease. One very important note for any company into coaching activity, it's in Dubai, it's requires to get additional approval, not only from the free zone itself, but to get approval from the local authority, KHDA authority. This authority regulates actually all the businesses which into the education sector and related to education, like training, coaching, mentoring, etc. To get this approval, again, two important considerations. It's additional cost, which in average around 15,000 dirham per year, and also additional time frame for setting up your business, because you will get the license only after we get this approval from KHDA. So the time frame can reach up to 20-25 days for getting the approval only. While the registration of company itself, it takes also around 20-25 days. So this is option number 1 for the free zone company registration as a legal entity. Second option, which we will move now, it's also a free zone company. The free zone name is Dubai Multi-Commodities Center, or DMCC. This free zone actually was recognized as the best free zone and the fastest growing free zone for the last 3 years consequently. This is a free zone where our company also is registered. For those of you who are already in Dubai, maybe will be interesting to know the location of the free zone is in Jumeirah Lake Towers area, or GLT for short. The business activity for coaching, what's available here is called management training, professional management development training, if to be specific. You can see from the right side the sorry, it's a bit close on this. You can see from the right side also the scope of the business activity, what exactly will be covered in that license. This activity and in this free zone, same as in previous option, will be mandatory required to obtain approval from KHDA authority, and requirements will be the same. What is different here, and I would actually more recommend you this option if you are looking to start more cost effectively but still have an illegal entity. This option will be more cost effective in comparison with Dubai Knowledge Park. And the biggest difference here will be in rental fees for offices. So you can see from left side of the screen that registration and licensing, the first year will cost you around 34,000 dirham, which is around $9,300. While from the second year and onwards, renewal will be already less. It will be 20,285 in dirhams, and in dollar it's 5,500. The rental fee here, I included for you the option, which is the minimum space available for physical office. It's around from 120 to 300 square feet. The cost is 32,420 dirham or $8,800. This is the annual fees of the rent. This kind of office can accommodate up to 2-3 persons, so 2-3 desks will be there, and also you can receive a quota for 3 residence visas. It's an important note that in all the free zones, the quota for the residence visa which your company will get is always connected to the size of your office. So if you need to hire 10 employees, then you have to consider already that you will need around 100 square meter office. The common rule is usually 10 square meter provides you 1 quota for residence visa. You can see also here the additional cost for the visa itself. It will be the same for you as a owner of the company, and for the employees, it's around almost 6,000 dirham, and in dollar 1,600. And there is refundable deposit here also. It's 3,000 dirham, which is can be refunded upon cancellation of visa or liquidation of your company. The visa itself, which is a good point in comparison with other Emirates, in any Dubai-based free zones, your visa will be valid for 3 years, whether you are shareholder or employee. For both these categories, it's valid for 3 years. One more important thing in this free zone, the facilities, the offices, mostly they are not owned by the free zone itself, like it's in most of other free zones. What does it mean for you as an entrepreneur, as a shareholder? That means that you would have much bigger option of choices of different kind of offices, different fees. You can negotiate, you can approach individual landlords. So you don't deal with the government only, which has a fixed fees per square feet, like it was in a previous option. Also, if in any time in future you're required to buy that office, but you don't want to just rent it, that's also possible in this free zone, which you cannot do in Dubai Knowledge Park, for example. And actually in most of the free zones, the offices are not for sale. So this is about DMC free zone. Last thing there, if you wonder about the time frame, how long will it take to set up your business there, we are talking about 20-25 days. And the great thing nowadays, the DMCC made new initiative where they allow to register your business fully online. So previously, one-time presence, physical presence here in Dubai was required, while here we can avoid it, and we can do all the procedures without their presence. Okay, so we'll move to the last option from the free zones recommended for coaching businesses, which is this free zone, Ras Al Khaimah Economic Zone or Rakis Zone. It is located in Ras Al Khaimah Emirate, which is already one of the northern Emirates, not in Dubai. This is much more cost-effective option in comparison with 2 Dubai options which we discussed. Things to consider here again. This type of company is allowed only for the company with 1 individual shareholder. However, it's not a freelancer permit like we discussed in the very beginning. It's not just you as individual getting a permit, but it's registration of legal entity, but you cannot have partners. It's only yourself as individual shareholder. And their available activity for coaches, it's business coaching. You can see from the left side of the screen. And from the right side, you can see the estimated budget for registration of such company, which is around 13,468 dirham, or it's around $3,600. What does it include? It includes actually all the registration fees of the free zone, license, the flexi desk, and also 1 visa quota for you as a shareholder of this company. when I say visa quarter, just for clarification, doesn't mean the visa itself and the cost of visa is included. It's only allowance for a certain number of visas. So you can see, lastly, the additional cost, which will be for your residence visa. It's around 4,200 dirham, or it's $1,100. The package itself, the license itself, will be valid for 1 year, and you have to renew it every year. While the residence visa will be valid for 3 years, so you have to renew it every 3 years. As you can see, another difference with previous two options of legal entity of company registration is that it includes a flexi desk and not a physical office, and it does not require any external other government authorities' approvals, like KHTA was required in previous two options. What does it mean for you as an entrepreneur, as a coach? That means that you will significantly reduce your cost for renting physical office and for obtaining approval from this external authority. And it will also reduce the time for setting up the business itself. So if in Dubai we are talking about 20-25 days, in Ras Al Khaimah economic zone, we are talking about 7 to 10 working days approximately for setting up a business and getting already all your corporate documents. Moreover, good point, today it's also possible and allowed fully digital, so no physical presence required. Unless in the second step you will require already to get a residence visa. In that case, your presence in the UAE will be needed. Otherwise, we can set up business without the presence. So this is about the 3 options of free zones. I'm almost coming to the end. Here I would like to share with you some useful links. And I would like to note that after the webinar, if not yet done, Sanjit should share with all of you the presentation in PDF format. So any information which you would like to recall, to review, etc., you will have access to it. So some of the useful links which I included here include the information about 15 facts which you as a foreign investor or entrepreneur need to know about UAE free zones. Also, how you need to choose the best free zone for your business. What are the important points to pay attention while choosing a free zone. And 10 things to know before opening a new business in Dubai. This also will be useful for you. And another 3 important links I would recommend you to check is accounts guide for your e-businesses. What is this accounts guide for your business? Here, a little bit, like a few minutes, I would like to explain you. We do recommend to all our clients, whether you register freelancer permit or whether you register legal entity, a company, to properly have records for your accounts and bookkeeping. Even though you will not be on certain stages, you will not be submitting to any local authorities, but it's very, very important for you as entrepreneurs, as businessmen, to have your records. So what we are offering for startups, considering that most probably on initial stage, at least in the first year, you would like to save cost on hiring accountant or on outsourcing companies and paying them for accounting services. So this is the solution which will help you actually to save your cost and time, and where we provide the e-guide for the main information about accounting and bookkeeping and local regulations. Together with this e-guide, you will get 20 free templates for accounting and bookkeeping reports in Excel format with formulas written inside Excel already. And each file are connected to each other, where you insert data in one of the files, it's connected to other files. So you can do profit loss report, balance sheet, cash flow, and some other reports just by yourself, being not accountant, not have an accountant or finance background. Along with that, you will be getting also templates for invoices, for receipts, checkbooks, etc. Because many of our clients who never did business in the UAE, even though they have business experience in different other countries, they were always wondering and asking questions. So what are the requirements even for such simple basic things as how I can do invoice? What is the important and mandatory information to be in invoice or in the receipt, etc. So based on those questions and feedback we were receiving from clients, we developed this ebook for accounting, plus all these templates which I mentioned. By this link, you will get more information about it. And moreover, by just filling up 2-3 lines with your details, you can get some templates which will give you idea how this ebook will look and what you are getting instead. The important thing also when we are talking about cost, how it will help you to save your cost, hiring accounting or hiring company for providing accounting services will cost you a minimum of 3,000 per month and above. While here the ebook is for non-registered for VAT businesses, which is for you the first year you will not be registered most probably, it will cost you around $300 only. So you can find this information by this first link. The other 2 links, second one is if you have any existing business already overseas and you are thinking to open not a new company in the UAE, but you'd like to set up a branch of that business here. So here you will find the important information about how you should set up a branch. And lastly, some of you might be, who are thinking to open business, might be considering to do it not alone as a single shareholder, but you might be considering to have partners. So in this case, I highly, highly recommend you to check out this link, the last one, key points to consider when entering a business partnership, which is, to be honest, from my experience, I have clients who are coming 2-3 people together. They want to do business, they want to start business together and to be partners. And after reading and after asking some questions about partnership, they reconsidered opening the business with partners and preferred to go alone, which is for some people will work better to be individual owners, for some with partners. But even though you choose to have partners, please pay attention to these details as per this last link. That's it from my side, and now it's your time to ask the questions or any feedback. Please feel free.
I've got few questions. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. It was a very nice presentation, very informative.
Most welcome.
Yeah. I just wanted a sample of an NOC format in both English and Arabic. To just check how it will look like if at all I have to ask an employer,
yes,
to give me an NOC. That is one requirement.
Okay.
The next thing what I would like to ask is that now currently we are doing this coaching session with CTA, this Coach Transformation Academy. So is this certification sufficient to start a business for coaching, or you still need a international recognition to start this, to apply as a credential for getting a license?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Sveta.
Yep.
The certificate which we're getting from CTA, it's enough for us to register business in UAE.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
More than enough.
Okay.
Thank you for both your questions. Regarding your first question about the NOC, there is no mandatory required template, but we do usually, to make it easier for our clients, to help them, we do provide the template. You can see now my contact details. Please feel free to contact me. I will share with you. It's very simple, 1-page document. Usually, and if it's from the company, it should be on the letterhead of the company, and the company stating that we are XYZ, we don't have objections for Mr. ABC to open his business in this free zone or to get his freelancer permit in that free zone, and signed by authorized signatory, which can be either the owner or the general manager, or sometimes HR of the company can sign it, and stamp of the company. That's it. And sometimes even original not required by most of the free zones, even the scan copy, clear copy will work for that. But if you contact me by email, I can share with you the sample for that.
Sure. The next one is that in Dubai Knowledge Park, I think you referred about the free zone company.
Yes.
But what I understand is that TCOM also offers a freelancer permit for executive coaching and training, and that seems to be the cheapest one at 7520 AED per annum. So
yeah, Actually, the freelancer permit is available also in TCOM Authority. Dubai Knowledge Park is one of the free zones which is in the group of TCOM. There's several free zones under that umbrella. I gave you specifically option of the business to let you, see the difference. If you, for example, your plans might be from the first year to hire employees already, to have an office, physical space, then freelancer will not work for you already. If we talk about the cost, if you look in my very first option of freelancers, which is Dubai South, the cost of freelancer permit in TCOM Authority will be exactly the same. 7.5 is not including establishment card. I just gave you already for Dubai South freelancer permit plus establishment card, because anyway it's required. But like marketing strategy, they usually show only the freelancer permit cost, to look it less. But eventually, if you are going to get a residence visa under that permit, it's mandatory to get the establishment card also, which is more than 2,000 cost. So the cost in TCOM will be exactly same like in Dubai South. Otherwise, the requirements for registration of freelancer permit are exactly the same, documentation, same time frame will be more or less the same. So if by location or by the free zone itself, you will prefer the TCOM to Dubai South, it will be actually similar budget and similar documents requirements involved.
Okay, one more doubt is that, like, on a one freelancer permit, for example, in Dubai TCOM, I see a freelancer permit for executive coaching. I see a freelancer permit for training. But suppose if a person is competent to do both the activities, can both the activities be clubbed under one freelancer permit?
Actually, they have different rules in each free zone. Some free zones, they don't allow you in one freelancer permit more than one activity. Some will allow you 2 activities. Some they allow you to combine 5 activities depending from which category they are. So again, once you choose specific free zone, if we will talk about TCOM or we will talk Dubai South or Rakis, which I gave you, you can contact me, I will guide you, because here the regulations are a bit different. But in general, most of the time it is possible to get more than one. If you have, again, the documentation, credentials, background for both these activities.
Thank you very much.
And most of the time they should be connected, not completely not connected activities. If like training and coaching, as what you said, it makes sense that it's connected business activities.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I finally got an answer. Okay. If anything is required, I'll just, stay in touch with you.
Sure. Thank you.
Also, one thing, Sweta, if anything that you want to send, maybe you can keep Sanchit in loop, because a lot of people would have similar questions. So maybe guys, you all can probably send your questions to support@Coach Transformation, and Sanchit can compile all of that for you and send it to Sweta or Kamelia, and then they can get back to you. So
no problem.
Avoid confusions and multiple layer of communication.
Or instead of making you busy, Dr. Harris and CTA, everybody can post their questions in our Facebook page after Sanjit.
Yeah, and you can tag me because I'm in the group already.
Yeah, that's a better idea. Thank you, Kamelia.
Actually, can we get a copy of the presentation, Svetlana?
I asked Sanchit to share with you. Actually, I sent him the PDF format of the presentation. So please coordinate with him. He will share with you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Natasha, it's posted on Facebook group as a link, drive link.
Yeah.
You can download it.
I can also do it if you prefer to.
Yeah, I mean,
download
honestly, it would just be easier if you could just share the PDF so we can just keep that. That would be a bit easier.
Then PDF already done, already shared it.
Okay, great. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Welcome.
The charges are including your setup charges, or is it
separate? No. See, today I'm here not to advertise or promote our company or services specifically. I'm here to share with you my knowledge and experience. So all the fees, what I'm giving you is the fees of the free zone itself. But again, for any charges for the service fee, if you open our website, we are very transparent. For every single free zone, you will find all the prices, including our service fee. If something not clear there, also, again, you can come back to me. Please feel free.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions, feedback?
If there is no more questions, I would like to clarify something about the training activities and the KHDA. Maybe some of you is wondering what is that KHDA and why should I pay some extra money? Why should I wait some extra time? So let me clarify one thing. If you do whatever company you do, you have to be very selective on the activities according to what you're planning to do in the future. Now, the government authority called Knowledge and Human Development Authority, KHDA, does provide approvals only for companies who have physical office. This is one very important point to consider. And why do I need that KHDA approval? It's because when you go to do trainings, if you have any kind of activity, but you do not have, you are not applying to all the rules of KHDA requirements, you are not able to issue certificates. So maybe Dr. Harris can tell us more from own experience. This is not easy to get. And if you're looking to be a professional company which is targeting big clients for trainings, you cannot avoid going through this. So, I mean, that's very important for everybody to consider. So you have mentioned for going for freelancer activity of training, but you're not allowed to issue certificates. So what's the point of having that activity? You see? Now,
this is
Dr.
for
Harris
start.
is doing that, I'm sure, on annual basis. That's not an easy process, but this is the only thing to issue certificates to the people whom you train.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
This is slightly a longer process to have a training activity. You've got to go to KHDA, they come and verify, they look at the location, they look at the size of the place, they look at all the logistics to facilitate training. Yes. And then you get an approval and then you can get a license. And then this is renewed every year. Costs you about 20,000-25,000 put together, a lot of things that are there. So if anything is specific about training, you can probably contact me. I can share my experience with you, how it is, but it's a little tedious process there. However, coaching is different. That's easy. You're not issuing certificates, you're not issuing certifications. You can definitely get it faster and easier and not with so much cost.
It's very strange we don't have any more questions. Nobody wants to know anything else?
I have one question.
Maybe you can stop sharing a screen so that we probably get some more FaceTime.
Okay.
If that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is better.
I had one question, Svetlana.
Yes, please.
So in the beginning, when you spoke about the freelancer permit, you also spoke about the residence visa, which was I think about 5,000 dirhams, valid for 3 years. So that is for, and you said you could also have it for the families. So how does that work? Is this just for one person and then for families separate? Can you just explain that part?
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. It's a very good question for those who are willing to sponsor their family members. So one of the requirements before you can proceed with sponsoring your family, first of all, your own residence visa and your Emirates ID, which is coming after the visa, should be ready. Beside that, you should already have either rented residential space or your own residential space, any of this option. And there are certain other documents required, but these are the main two considerations. Further, based on your valid residence visa and Emirates ID, that time only we can apply for your spouse or for your kids or for your parents. And this is already coming as additional cost. And this is applied already not to the free zone, like your residence visa in case of freelancer or free zone company, but it's applied directly to the immigration of that emirate, where is your freelancer is registered. So for family, for example, if it's kids and spouse, like we say, we are talking about several people, 2-3 people, if your visa is done, we can apply in the same time for all the family. Well, we cannot do it unless your residence visa, your Emirates ID are ready, because many clients are confused, thinking that why we lose time, why don't we apply for all of us together, especially those who are overseas, and they plan to relocate with the family. They would like to do it at the same time. But first should be the sponsor, so the main applicant, his visa and Emirates ID done, then your family will come next. For specific cost, again, it will be different, the pays, depending on which Emirate we'll be talking about, which free zone we're talking about. If you contact me directly and we can discuss if there is specific case already, where your freelancer will be or where your company will be, then based on that, where you will be sponsoring your family.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question actually.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so just for my clarification, so if we need to have a freelance permit under the name of personal development coach, it has to be in Ras Al Khaimah. And if we're doing executive coaching or management coaching, it's in Dubai.
You mean provide this coaching activity only in Ras Al Khaimah or in Dubai, or the registration itself?
You mentioned that there are two places, right? It's Dubai and
Correct.
Ras Al Khaimah.
Yes.
So the Dubai activity covers executive coaching, management coaching.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to do live coaching, which is, let's say...
So the question about activities specifically, right?
It has to be in Ras Al Khaimah. So the personal development one,
yeah,
in Ras Al Khaimah, which is more expensive.
See, actually, what you need to know here, every free zone, they have their own list of available business activities. Therefore, one of the questions when we are checking with clients before we recommend anything is before we recommend specific free zone, we need to know what kind of business specifically you will be doing. Then I can check for you in which free zones this or that activity available. So here, when I was preparing the presentation, I checked already several free zones, which most popular with our clients and have good reputation in the market, where anything related to coaching is available. So whatever available in Dubai is not necessarily the same business activity will be available in Ras Al Khaimah and vice versa. So it's, your E1 country, one jurisdiction, but still free zones like, let me say, mini authority, mini government in itself, and they have their own rules, different fees, as you noticed, different requirements, same as the business activities.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that what you mentioned in the presentation is not the only thing available. Like there might be other things available.
Related to coaching, this is the only what's available in those particular free zones. But if you want to check by yourself, again, you can contact me. What I can do, each free zone, they have this list of activities quite big. I can share with you the full list. It's usually in Excel, where you can, browse yourself, check what is most suitable for you. But, coaching is very specific and unique activity. It's not like regular just consulting or regular trading, which is available in all the free zones. So it's not even in any free zone you will find it.
Yeah, but I'm not doubting what you're saying. I'm just trying
I understand. I understand. No, I mean that sometimes it's better even for yourself to see all the available options to understand, okay, this is really the one which is the best for me.
Yeah, but for us as a startup, doing the ACC, let's say, if after the ACC we need to have the license, it has to be in Ras Al Khaimah because the ACC doesn't cover executive and management coaching. So in that case, we'll have to have it from Ras Al Khaimah, which is more expensive.
Joe, the certificate which we're gonna get.
Kamelia, thank you. If you can interrupt, you can intervene here. Yeah.
Joe, the certificate which we are supposed to get next Monday, I hope, Dr. Harris, right?
Yeah. After next Monday.
Okay, after next Monday. So after that, you are free to choose where to register. No worries, that's enough for you. You don't need to wait till August and passing the ACC. And what I understood, actually, we're not going to go for ACC anyways. In 6 months, we can apply directly for PCC. So don't bother about that.
Yeah, but no, I'm taking let's say the short road. So the shortest one. So you're telling me that with the CTA license, we can go for the Dubai free zone one?
Yes. Any of the options I provided in this presentation, you can go for it. As per the requirements of the free zone, you can do it.
If it's more expensive, like why would somebody pick Ras Al Khaimah if it's more expensive?
So Joe, can I come here? Maybe.
Yeah.
So don't pick Ras Al Khaimah, pick Dubai. Okay?
No, see, every free zone, they have their own price policies, and different packages, completely different. Some given different promotions or fees requirements. So it's not about like the more expensive the better, or if it's less expensive the better. Or you cannot judge just by the price. As I mentioned at the very beginning, it's more than 50 free zones in the UAE. Can you imagine the variety and the options? And like, it's very easy to be confused and to be lost in all these options. That's why we're not discussing here 10 free zones or 15 free zones, but we focus on 2-3 options. And I would highly recommend you to check some of those links I shared in the end. One of those is also what to pay attention when choosing a free zone. So it's not only the cost and budget to consider.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Welcome.
Joe, I suggest go through the presentation and check it out, because I really didn't understand. How did you find out that Ras Al Khaimah is more expensive than Dubai? One is 3,000.
The freelancer permit, I think he compared.
Yeah.
The freelancer permit is really more expensive, Kamelia.
One question is in the chat box from Veronica. Please have a look. Can I do online coaching worldwide with a freelance permit?
Yes, of course. Same as a free zone company having a freelancer permit, you are not limited to provide this business activity only inside UAE. So it can be anywhere overseas in different countries. But only one more important thing to consider here. I'm talking from the point of view of UAE jurisdiction and requirements of UAE. But you have to consider also which country, the other country you are considering to practice this activity, they might have their own local regulations, requirements, etc. So you always have to look into that and to comply with that as well. But from the point of view of entity as a free zone company or freelancer permit, they don't give you limitation to work only inside UAE. It can be anywhere. Actually, all of our clients doing business all over the world, not just in the UAE after they set a business here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I'm sure these questions are going to complicate few things as well if group focuses on the question which is not specific to you. So everyone in this group, I'm sure, who needs more information has got specific need, requirement, and a solution. Suggestion is that reach out to Sweta, reach out to Kamelia or Sanchit to take you through the process, and have your solutions customized to what you need to know. All you need to know is you have someone available for you if you have such a need. So I think on that note, we've come to the closure of the time at the top of our now. If you have more questions, please log into Facebook group, write questions there, tag Sweta or Kamelia there, and get your questions answered. And also when you write a question, you may want to leave your email address or phone number for people to call you. Do not just tag and write questions. That's something which you shouldn't do. Yeah. So anything else, Sweta, you want to leave people with some closing note, closing advice, and we then sign off for today? Or Kamelia, would you like to say something?
No, thank you so much everybody for attention. Please contact Sweta directly. She is much more knowledgeable in company setup than me. If there is any tax implication, then of course I'm here to help you.
So if you need business coaching, contact Kamelia. If you need business solution, contact Sweta. So that's the way I think I should put it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you. Great session.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.